Yeah.
It's a little bit wonky. That's all right.
I think I'm still
It's okay.
following the.
Maybe now it's okay.
Yeah.
It looks like you fixed it, Jay.
Save room for Jay. Join
Yeah,
the other
he
crowd.
went
Hey, Jay.
You miss him down there?
Hi.
We're missing someone, no?
We got the whole house.
We had a house
Yeah.
today.
Yeah,
Food
everyone's
meeting.
here today.
How come we never have any minutes? To approve.
Yeah, review.
So did you have a full evening last time? Do you remember? Yeah.
Well, 2 times ago, you were here, right? When there was like all the public comment.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, last time, you took it by the ball. We're not doing that.
So they can build
We need to
more
figure,
houses on
something's
the
gonna be
lots.
built here, and the neighbors don't want
Right.
that.
Yes.
You don't want
See it.
that. You need to talk
You
together.
got the easy.
That was the
Two
smartest
of
thing
them
to do,
look
is
the
get them to talk together.
Yeah.
I think I was here one time when he said
We
that.
did, there was another, there was a building proposed on, not Keeler. It was like in the 7,800
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So they did the same thing with that, they talked to that developer, the neighbors, cause they were calling me to talk about it.
They were calling you?
I had a couple neighbors calling them.
Wasn't a bad thing for the.
Not at all.
It's good. Last week, we did see a number of presentations from neighborhood residents that,
We do.
you know, were quick,
Mm-hmm.
but we didn't do that, but
Mm-hmm.
this is so funny, right? They've
10 seconds. Okay, everybody, it's exactly 7:30, according to Microsoft. When you checked in to get your building permits and file for your applications, you were given instructions as to what we're going to be doing here tonight. Tonight, we were looking at, it appears, all residential cases. There are no commercial on the agenda. Neighbors to either side of these projects were given notice. I think there was also probably a sign posted. We have one case that's old business, 3 cases that are new business. When we call your case, come on up to the dais here. Neighbors who were invited, who wanted to be, might want to be heard or comment tonight, they're welcome to come up and speak. I'll address them when we're ready, but they can come up whenever they want during the case. As long as you get sworn in when the commissioner to my left swears people in. Why don't we do that now? It looks like it's a light crowd. Anybody who's going to be speaking tonight, please stand up. If you're going to come up and make any public comment, we would need you to be sworn in.
Painless. Okay, do you swear or affirm the testimony you give tonight will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Okay. Before we get rolling along here, does somebody want to make a motion to approve the minutes from the February 8th meeting?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the meeting of February 8th, 2023, as presented.
Anybody? All in favor?
Aye.
So passed. Also, when I call a case, the commissioner who just swore you in will be reading comments that we get from the village's community development staff. We take these comments into consideration when we're rendering our opinions. You'll also get some Q&A back and forth between all of us and yourselves when you're up here making your case. With that said, I'm going to call the first case, case 2023-005A at 94 Drake Avenue.
Staff is overall supportive of the proposed addition elevations. Staff is not supportive of the second floor east elevation. The proposed window is off-center and is oddly placed. Staff has no objections with the southwest and north second floor elevations. If this project increases the number of bedrooms on site, a parking variation will be required if a second legal parking space is not provided. Hey, Rafi.
Rafi, did you give two options on this? I'm trying to remember what I saw when I was going through here.
No,
Okay,
It's because the windows, you don't want it in the
That-
shower.
that's fine.
existing and then proposed.
That window
Right,
that staff commented on, that's above the toilet.
Right.
To the left of it, to the right of it, depends on where you're looking from,
it's a
is
shower,
the shower.
right.
And I really don't like putting a window in the shower.
No, so, all right, so that's the existing face, and then I look at the left, was the garage there already?
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's pushed back further from the street. I understand when you're looking at it as an elevation, pure elevation, it looks odd, but really only a bird sees the house like that, you know, you're seeing it in perspective, and I don't think it's as much of an issue, and I think it brings some valuable light to the room, and it gives the opportunity for the homeowners to be able to see the street from that area of the house, so.
Can you go back,
What do you want?
no, I mean, I'm okay with the photos, I mean, the house is, it's just it just,
Looks odd from the front,
Yeah.
but I know why it's there.
I've got I think
a solution,
yes, I do,
to
actually, and it's,
involve a dormer.
actually, the issue is not so much the window, but the fact that
I don't care
you've
about
got
I care about the
On-
paddleball court.
on the, south elevation. You've got a totally traditional house. Everything's traditional, even the addition on
Mhm.
the back. And you're doing kind of a contemporary,
Mm-hmm.
roof slash all the way up. And it would seem, it's not so much the window, but it's the fact that this space right here doesn't relate to anything on the front.
Mm-hmm,
Is there a reason why you didn't pitch the roof down
right.
like that and then do skylights for your east light in the bathroom?
I mean, skylights wouldn't give them the.
Skylights aside, but I'm
Yeah,
kind of, it's
skylights
really
aside.
more of that space above the garage is kind of out of proportion with the traditional style of the rest of the house. If you go to the other, and it's because the window isn't as jarring to me as the fact that you've got that big flat space.
I have to look,
What if it's
Can
a
I see the
narrower
floor
window with shutters though? See if you look at the original house, which is right there.
I mean, I just don't know why they didn't take advantage of go over the whole thing. I know you're cutting out a window by doing that on the existing house, but
yeah, they really wanna keep that window on the existing house.
at the expense of looking at that wall.
And in the master, in the bathroom here? And this one right
Yes,
here?
yes.
The toilet, no, it's
No, 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 we're talking,
Keep-
I'm,
keep
the
Keeping.
new
he's,
addition.
Julie, he's talking about that
Okay.
existing window, about
South
if he'd
wall.
used my solution, he would
Got it.
consume that window.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we could, we also thought of a option, doesn't solve the problem of what you just mentioned, but we could do a larger window that's in keeping, show you this so I can show it here. It's in keeping in the size and look of the other windows of that house.
I thought a larger window with some shutters would probably help you.
I mean, I can appreciate that it's 2/3 of the way back from the existing home, but I just don't know why if you're gonna do all this work, you wouldn't consume the whole garage with the addition. And it only costs you the one window.
Yeah, that, we had a lot of back and forth on that window. Apparently it's extremely important.
I've been in plenty of bathrooms without windows. There's no bathrooms in these, or windows in these bathrooms.
My condo does not have a,
Right.
my condo bathroom does not
I
have
don't
a
know of a
window.
hotel room that has a window in the bathroom.
Yeah, because the garage is set back, so if the house were
No, it's just,
needing it, like you say,
the incremental cost of consuming the whole garage with the addition is a pittance.
you would look
and it would be in keeping, or even just a dormer that comes off of that wall versus,
Is there a reason you wouldn't wanna clip the roof?
No, there's no reason.
you mean just bring it back, Joe, so it's not so cantilevered?
Yeah, so it doesn't look like a contemporary addition on the side of a,
I mean, that
Traditional
roof line
colonial
is
house.
is not sticking out past the
Yeah,
wall.
it's-
I mean, it looks like a cantilever, but it's not, as you're seeing the fascia beyond.
yeah, it's really more of the,
Then you forgot to draw a line.
it's the more of the scale of the
Didn't you?
space
Yes.
than it is to me, but, you know, honestly, it is set back probably 15 or 16 feet from the garage face, so probably 20-some feet from the face of the house, so in all reality, you're not gonna really notice it. I will when I walk by, but I'm kind of a weirdo.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, the logic was that it's so far back and such a small piece that, I don't think it will draw that much attention to itself.
Tom, do you have any comments?
Yeah, I mean, this helps, a larger window with the shutters, kind of, mimics the existing, but, it's still awkward in relation to the entire elevation. I'd rather see it disappear,
What, the window?
yeah?
Or can't you put a fake dormer face on the thing? And make it look like,
It is,
I mean, why does it have to
I mean,
be,
if
why does it have to be
anything,
a
I'd
shed
rather-
roof?
if anything, I'd rather pitch the whole roof back.
What whole roof?
Rather than it coming to a straight line and having a shed roof, from that window, pitch it toward the backyard, so it's a sloped roof that slopes on both sides.
I'm not following you. I can't follow just.
Well,
Here.
I think it might be better to take like 1/3 of the garage, just to
I
get it
just,
over that window.
I really
can
don't,
stand at this
I don't care
microphone.
about, I care about
'Cause
how
it-
it looks from the front.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, starting somewhere here, I can pitch it back.
Well, yeah, I mean, that would look better, but we'd have to see it.
Not a problem.
Okay, so you can bring us a redesign next month?
Yeah.
Okay. I would, I would study that, in my opinion. And again, I would study that, I would study
But not,
making a 1-foot fake dormer protrusion.
I really don't wanna do a dormer.
If you were to look at that with pitching it back
Mhm.
like that and following the same pitch of the original
Mhm.
house, you'd have the same lines, you'd be able to follow everything, plus you might be able to do some type of a transom window to get light in, because it sounds like light is really important for
Yeah.
your clients. So you might be able to, if you were to put a lower transom window, so it wouldn't be, wouldn't affect privacy, but you would also bring that face down a little bit, and I think the window wouldn't be as pronounced, because it's not a small window on a
I
big
think-
face.
I mean, the other thing I think we can do, and we raised this higher because there's a furnace up there to leave room to fit the furnace. If I find a different spot for the furnace, this whole line can come down significantly, so it doesn't go as high,
Mhm.
and then I can pitch it back.
So look at
It's
that.
a question of whether if I can find a spot for that furnace or not.
Yeah, I have a furnace in my attic too, but isn't there room in the existing attic?
Getting to it is,
In the supply duct, is the new furnace just for the addition?
yeah,
You can figure
it's a
that out.
small unit, so I might,
Right, and
get-
it's a small duct that has to go in
Yeah.
there. So
Yeah.
you're consuming up to the roof of the existing house, right?
yeah.
So, can you go back to the floor plan real quick, Brian? As long as Rafi's gonna go do some studying,
Mhm.
of that bathroom. Can't you figure out another spot for the shower? I mean, why isn't this shower where the sinks are, or whatever, just to give you,
Put that there and
right?
Yeah,
A little
it
bit.
does, it's, I'm never gonna say no. I mean,
Right,
We'll
but
look
I'm
into
just saying it would give, you know, I don't know many people who want a window directly over their toilet either. Okay? Because the blinds will always be down, so why do they need the light?
It's high, the window's high.
So, but
Regardless, I mean, that's,
I would.
I'll take a look. I mean, I'll take a look,
Vanity could be switched.
you know?
It's not that bad. Put a transom in there.
Even juggling where the bathroom is versus the walk-in closet and stuff. I don't know, it just seems like that shower is handcuffing
Isn't
That
the part of this closet is, there's no first floor below it.
Mhm.
So I really don't wanna put the bathroom in this area. Cause then, you know, freezing and issues with that.
What's below it?
Nothing. It goes past,
Right here.
you see that?
Oh,
Right
that,
there.
oh, okay, it
Yeah.
vaults out, I got
Yeah.
you. Okay, well, look at it. you know.
Yeah, I'll look at it.
My shower's on the perimeter wall, so
Yeah.
I don't have a window in it. Cool, all right, so you'll look at a couple things and come back?
I'll look at
Okay.
it, I'll
Great.
come back with a revision.
Everybody agree with those comments, Joe? Sure.
Yes.
Thanks, Rafi, for
Thanks, guys.
understanding and
Thank you.
and looking at it.
Just email them.
Okay, we're gonna go to case 2023-006A at 8115 East Prairie Road. It's kind of it's a sister project to 2023-007A at 8109 East Prairie Road. Are there any, before we get into this case, are there any neighbors related to this case on East Prairie Road? Okay. You guys are neighbors all for Keeler? Keeler?
8113.
So you are? The answer is yes. Thank you.
Okay. Comments from the staff are, currently there is one single-family home at 8113 East Prairie that will be torn down to construct two single-family homes. The address of the north lot will be 8115 East Prairie, and the address of the south lot will be 8109 East Prairie. The proposed building appears to be the exact same building as 8228 Keeler Avenue, case number 2023-004A. Staff has no objections to the look of the building, but would prefer the building have some different features than the Keeler building.
Before we get to the neighbor comments. You were in front of us last month, correct?
I wasn't, no, my associate, my partner was,
The case was up, he was not here.
I couldn't
Right.
make it, I'm sorry.
But,
Apologize.
and you represent who?
Um,
Ownership, an architect,
I'm
developer?
the architect, actually, yeah,
You're the architect,
yeah,
not the owner.
no,
Not-
the owner is here as well.
Okay. And you were here last meeting, sir? No. We ran into some issues last meeting, right? You heard, right?
Yeah, I heard there were some modifications.
Right. So,
So this is was submitted for East Prairie with the addresses weren't assigned yet.
understood.
That's why you see the 8113N, 81, that's 8113S. And these are this is the revised plans for Keeler, which appears to be the same building.
So,
And we do
I'm
hit,
trying to treat these as much as individual cases, but this is more of a conversation about all four cases. So, this has got, try to be respectful here. To me, it's almost like I'd rather go and talk about old business, and skip over this case and go to Keeler.
to
Yeah,
go to Keeler cases
Let's go to
first?
Keeler because.
Okay.
I was,
Right, so let me make for the record, for the recording record, we are gonna skip cases 2023 006A and 2023-007A, and we'll come back to them after we go to case number 2023-002A at 8234 Keeler, which is a sister case of 2023-004A at 8228 Keeler Avenue. And Tom, you want to read it?
Sure. This is the comments for 8234 Keeler, case number 2023-002A. Currently, there is one single-family home on the lot that will be torn down to construct 2 new homes. The address of the north lot will be 8234 Keeler, and the address of the south lot will be 8228 Keeler. The proposed building appears to be the exact same building as 8109 East Prairie, case number 2023-007A. Staff has no objections to the look of the building, but would prefer the building have some different features than the East Prairie building.
So, what changes did you make from last meeting to this meeting on this?
Yeah, the cladding for one.
Because we're gonna pull up the old pictures. I just want to make sure that I hear from you first before we catch you.
I think one of the comments was that the board and batten siding that was used for the first version was a little too industrial looking, I think someone said. I changed that to the fiber cement panels that are similar to something that was used on the Long Avenue, one of the Long Avenue projects that you mentioned. And then the brick, I think the brick was black last time around, and now this looks yellow, but it's actually red. Yeah, and then the other house is all white now, 8228. Oh, and also I also made a couple of small changes to the volumes where the stairs are. I raised that middle part on the White House, over there where the big windows is on the left side, so that there's more play on that side of the house. It doesn't look as monotonous as before.
Brian, can you zoom out a little bit?
But
Right
mostly
there. That's fine.
my feeling was that the complaints were about the fact that materials were a little too cold for the neighborhood. So the owner pointed out to me that the existing house is all white, so it seemed fair that we replace the White House with another White House. So that's the thinking behind the all white one. Well, not all white, but
Brian, can you pull up the original submission for these two? A similar looking drawing for the two together? Do we have an image of them together
I don't think so.
on the last
No.
submission?
I don't think well, actually,
Yeah, right
sorry.
Yeah, this is from last month's agenda. That's on the website.
So,
Oh, and the eaves, yeah, on the
well, hang on a minute, so.
Just to clarify, there was a revision after this that was similar to the bump out on the one that's in the foreground here. You had a bump out over the garage, which was a later revision that we got last time. But it had the vertical steel siding.
right. Yeah.
And we talked a little bit about that, and also talked a little bit about how the eaves are adding something additional to the eaves, or kind of a additional detailing, I think it was.
So, I mean, I like. So a couple of things. This, I see what you did, and I don't know that, I think I like I know we're looking at the old one. I know the new one, you've got house entry door on the left, garage door on the right for both of them. There's a part of me that thinks that actually looks better than having the two garage doors together. That's just me as a matter of taste.
Yeah,
That's just me. I haven't heard yet from the neighbors.
I agree, and I don't think this would be possible actually, because there's a fire hydrant right in
Right,
front of the.
right. But I would think that, again, I'm sorry I have the old one up so long, but it's just my iPhone. All right, so now let's go back to the one we're talking about. So just so you remember that, you guys remember that's one. So I like that you did with the eaves on the one on the left, but we don't have any eve work on the stuff on the one on the right. I think the eaves just tend to warm it up and make it look more residential. And Joe, you're more on the architect side of things. I'm not very nuts about the protrusion on the house on the left over the garage. That's me, but I'll defer to you.
I don't defer to me because I really like it.
Yeah,
I like
all
the
right,
style.
That's fine, that's fine.
I like
Hey,
all the
that's
ones
why
that
there's
I like the
how
ones
many
that have
of
been
us?
built
Right.
in the village so far.
Mhm.
Long, the one over by the police station.
Yeah,
Um,
this one here, yeah.
So there's a number of them that actually you go look at, and I really like them. One of the reasons why I like them is you use I think it's called an iron spot brick, which is
Right,
the
yeah,
dark
great,
gray,
yeah.
which you've taken away, but it's,
Um,
color
yeah,
is,
we can do that.
color is taste, and let's not get into that, but it's interesting you mentioned how the garages sit, because I was really curious about that and stared at the floor plans. If they're mirrored, the windows all look at each other.
Mhm.
So like the bedroom is right on the
Yeah,
bedroom.
I think this is a better look than the opposite where
Yeah.
then it looks really, yeah.
Because my issue is there's alleys, we should use them, but I understand people
Mhm.
are a little less comfortable with alleys, and then you've got to do a separate garage or go all the way in the back, and then you've got coverage issues, so I get it. It's just it's a personal preference. I like what you did. The white, it's a lot of white, and I understand it's a White House there now, but it's
Right.
also set back, and it's got space on both sides. Are the windows black, or are they bronze, or?
They're black, yeah, they're ebony. Yeah.
Okay,
I think
so they
that's
are.
the idea, but we're not fixed on it.
yeah, the white isn't bad. I mean, people are doing it all over the place, typically in the farmhouse style or Scandinavian style.
Right.
What would be nice is on the earlier submittal, you had a different color where there was a horizontal siding.
Yeah,
And
the reddish one, yeah.
And also, there's a strip next to the door, and maybe around the door, maybe if there was a little bit of a different color, and maybe it's even off-white or something that's just a little bit different that stays with your style. Because I think the white is actually going to be really striking, even though we're looking at a SketchUp drawing that are sometimes hard to gauge. And I like how you did the cutout of the door and everything. I think that it was a nice improvement. The point of the protrusion, I really like it, but I think,
Hey,
but I think what it needs, and I think what you're reacting to, is it's a lot flatter elevation. Even though it's got bounce to it, there's no overhang over the door. It's a little bit more, it's more chunky. If you were to mimic the overhang, I kind of like the idea of the two being
just
there.
over the bump out?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
something just to give it
Right.
a little bit more of a dimension, even though what I think everyone's reacting to is this is really just a big chunk, and this is a big chunk.
Yeah, that's the whole idea, really.
I know, but
Chunks.
But you're saying if you did an eave over the protrusion,
either this,
right, like
either
that,
this here, or something,
Oh, I see.
something here.
Yeah, we
Right.
can do that.
I think either of those things would
warm it up.
warm it up and
Yeah,
give it a
okay.
little bit of depth.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we can do that. Sure.
Do you also have any landscape plan for the homes?
No, I think it's just gonna be sod, really, in the front. There's not,
I didn't hear what you-
Sorry?
I didn't hear what you said.
I think it's just gonna be sod, like in the.
Grass.
Sod?
Yeah, I don't think they have any plans for the front yard, yeah. Because the driveway takes about, I think, 18 feet, maybe a bit more, and the lots are 40, so there's not a whole lot to work with. Yeah.
What's the material of the driveway you're proposing?
Concrete.
Is it not permeable?
No, I don't think so, no, I think that's more expensive, permeable
Well, of
pavement.
course it's more, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're within the 50% allowable
Okay.
coverage, but yeah, it would be nice to do permeable pavers. It's always a cost issue.
There are a lot of permeable materials now for driveways.
Yeah, it's really not up to me. The owner is the decision maker in the end.
To your point about the landscaping, I think it's a really good question, and, because what you show is a sidewalk right up against, so there's no planting area
Right.
between. So if the sidewalk is far enough away so that there's something
Yeah.
that can be done in front of the long brick face.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I know this is SketchUp, but it is being submitted
Right.
like this,
Mhm.
and there's no landscape area between the foundation,
There is
to the foundation.
yeah, there's like a 1 foot gap between the sidewalk and the property line. I'm not sure they're going to plant anything
It's
there.
mostly the front is what I'm most
Right.
concerned about.
Yeah, there are a lot of cool, narrow trees. For example, ginkgo trees and
Yeah.
narrow maple trees that could fit in there.
Yeah, we use those sometimes. Yeah. Again, it's a matter of budgeting and. So,
Yeah. And quite honestly, the neighbors don't care about budgeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
We do
So
plan, but
I
we
think
don't
as the
know
owner,
which
you might
times.
want to speak up here. Get in front of the microphone, please.
sure.
sir. Did you
Sorry.
stand up to get sworn in?
Yes.
Yes, I did.
Okay, great.
Okay, so you see right where the cursor is? So I wanted to do like 2 feet or like some perennials and some evergreens to kind of flow it together right where it make the L of the driveway. So just come here and wrap to the door. So like, again, from the right corner, right there, and then
make it-
take it back, wrap it around, all the way to that first step. So to just kind of give it some kind of privacy or planters or something, but not too big, about 2 feet high, 3 feet high, mix it up with different evergreens and some flowers. That's what I was planning on doing, right in front of the sidewalk, on each side.
But particularly in the house on the left, the one glaring spot where it's calling for it is between the house door and the garage door. But you've got that
You're talking,
sidewalk there, and I don't know if the sidewalk really wants to be there.
No, not really.
Be-
We can change that. I can shift it forward and leave a gap.
yeah, right where the big
Yeah,
white
yeah.
wall is.
Right.
We can
Yeah,
modify
do
that.
Yeah, that's not a big change.
Because you can't, it's like the houses I represented to you last time from
Long Avenue, yeah,
you see they did a nice job with their landscaping, and it warmed it up, and it made it
yeah.
more homogeneous to the neighborhood.
Sure.
Otherwise, that white wall looks really bare.
We'll put like a 4 or
if you
5 foot
had
nice
a
evergreen with
Or
some nice
even a
mulch
truss,
or
like a,
something
like a,
different.
like a.
Everybody's gonna want, your owner's gonna wanna do something, you're gonna sell it. If it were me, I'd probably wanna put a piece of sculpture on there or something, so, and a tree would, so
Hinder
there,
that, yeah.
I mean, you have
Maybe
to
you could
allow
stop for
for some
trellises.
evolution. Everybody's gonna wanna put their.
Modify
their-
to my taste, yes, I
And in
agree.
5 years, somebody's gonna paint it white,
You're right.
so,
I've seen it happen the day they
Because,
close,
yeah,
the next thing you come, the house is different.
the modern farmhouse is already going away.
I understand.
I'm going to ask the neighbors, do you guys have any comments to what we've been talking about, or did you notice some of the changes, and we tried to ease it in a little bit?
I just thought the colors, we were gonna look at the neighborhood and pick up this color scheme from the bricks and the houses around the area. Because quite honestly, it's just stark, it just stands out like a sore
Yeah.
thumb.
I know, I could,
With everything around it.
and I can tell you that when you get into these renderings, it's never does justice to the project. You know what I mean? So, and that's why we're trying to do some of the things with the eaves and the landscaping and stuff to try to soften it up, so.
They just painted a house on my block white with black shutters, and it looks really good. But it wasn't white with black shutters before, it's brick. And it actually ends up, with the green and the landscape and everything, it actually ends up being pretty classic.
I've seen
But the
it
first
happen.
time you drive by,
You
it's like,
think, what happened here?
wow,
I get it.
okay,
I know exactly what you're
but
talking
it's
about. It's
crisp and
That's
clean
the
and
demand right
it's-
now.
yeah.
Everybody wants a White House.
But
Okay.
it does need a little, I know it's SketchUp, but if there is just a little different hue to the horizontal siding.
We're okay with that.
If there's no other comments, Joe, why don't you make a motion based on the recommendations you did with eaves and
Okay.
and Parley and,
I'm gonna,
the landscaping.
Start with the case 02A, please, 8234
Okay.
Keeler, which is the north home, the non-White House.
all right, I move that a certificate of appropriateness be granted for case number 2023-002A, located at 8234 Keeler, with the changes. Oh wait, this is which one is
The one on the right.
Okay, the one.
The brown one.
Yeah, brown. Okay, we're talking about the brown one with an an additional front portico, I guess you'd call it. And additional space between the front face of the house, between the garage and the door for a landscape area.
And you were gonna do a portico over the garage door, right?
Over the front.
You talked about the house
Which
on the
one,
right.
which one, either, it's like either or, I would
Okay,
say.
that portico work to make it blend.
Yeah, to me, it would be either or,
Okay.
whether it's over the garage or over the,
Okay.
otherwise it's gonna kind of
Look,
overwhelm it.
Okay,
So whichever you prefer, because I can go either way.
either or.
I prefer to keep them
On the door?
On the door.
Yeah,
so
it makes
that
more sense there.
Yeah.
And me too. Yeah.
All right, anybody second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed?
Aye.
No opposed, so passed. Case, next case, Joe.
Okay, I move the certificate of appropriateness be granted for case number 2023004A at 8228 Keeler, with the change in color to the horizontal siding and a landscape area between the garage and the front door off the front of the house.
Anybody second?
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. Any,
Aye.
any opposed? No opposed, so passed. Okay, great. All right, so those are done. You guys can go get some dinner, or you guys welcome to stay and enjoy the rest of the evening here. Okay, let's go to case 2023-006A at 8115 East Prairie. We read those comments into the record earlier. So, Tom, I'm gonna spare you your throat. And let's pull that up.
So they reference 8113, is that N there?
Yeah, and S.
Okay, that's gonna be 8113N is the north house, which will be known as 8115. This is the south, what
Wait,
would
wait,
be
wait,
the
wait.
south house would be 8109.
Wait, this is the same drawing.
It's exactly the same. Yeah.
No, we're not doing that, guys. Come on. No,
No, I know, I got it.
we're not doing that.
He got the-
Okay.
I saw the comments.
Well, wait, you gotta submit that 10 days ahead of time.
We haven't seen them, so
We'll take a quick look, but I'm not promising anything.
I'm fine with that.
I mean, we have a neighbor who showed up and stuff, but there's a process with which stuff needs to be turned in ahead of time. They are literally the exact same. Careful it doesn't have a virus, Bri.
it better not.
Now you got TikTok on there.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so if you wanna see them side by side, yeah, take them over.
So you flip the colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
exactly.
crafty.
And the bricks,
And the panels are this color. It's white panels on it.
I think the other one is better.
All right, so I'm gonna just come out and say it. I'm just, yeah, I'm just, like, I can appreciate what you're trying to do and stuff like that, but I cannot have two twins. Well, I don't care how many blocks away these are. These are not that many blocks away, to be honest with you. East Prairie to Keeler is.
Maybe a little
6.
over, half mile, little over.
Yeah,
It's east.
and so you gotta, I mean, I'll let you redo one or the other, but you gotta give me something.
Okay.
It can't be,
I can do the side.
well, you guys gotta figure it out. I mean, we haven't even dove into the neighborhood and the other stuff like that. and you guys weren't here last meeting, in all fairness.
I mean, I saw the meeting.
But you probably saw the minutes, but
Yeah.
you didn't,
No, I watched it.
these people came, but there was many more of them,
Right.
okay?
I thought they worked for Maine, for the project on Maine, weren't they?
No,
Oh,
I don't, but anyway, so, we can't do this. I can't go put twins 6 blocks away.
even though there's a whole bunch of houses that exactly.
Well, look, I understand the argument to say, hey, the 1950
Yeah, no, I
George,
know, I know.
just neighborhoods of 1950 Georgians, but
Sure.
nobody,
No, I know.
that's
It's
all
different.
blends and homogeneous, and
Yeah.
this is,
You're right.
and again, we're not anti-modern architecture. We're
Yeah, no,
not.
I know.
And I'm sure what you're gonna come back with will look modern, but it can't be exact.
Got it. Okay, that's fine.
To what we just did, and again, take into consideration the longhouse, and there's several other examples of this, for lack of for a more remedial way of saying it, is the flat roof architecture.
Right, yeah.
So, but Joe, I don't know, do you have any other comment? I mean, I know you like these
Oh,
designs.
no, I've
but
got a comment, and I get it. There was no appearance commission back in the 50s when they were building, when they were
Right.
knocking out houses all in a
Well,
row.
they were all post-war
Now,
houses, right?
now you have us to deal with, so
Yeah.
we deserve a little flourish that is a little different. But what I do like is the formation of the garages on this one. There's a really magnificent magnolia to the north. So the garage and driveway is far enough away from it. I think that was great. I would do whatever you can to preserve
Okay.
that. It's a great tree. It's, so yeah, that's my only comment. It's important to the neighbors. They're getting, 2 houses instead of 1. Do what you can to save their tree.
Sure.
It's right on the property line.
Okay, we'll make that private.
And again, to my comment, if you had a 2-block subdivision, there's one just north of here, along, what street is that, Flora? And they all pretty much the same looking house, but they're cool, it's a row house look,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Right.
And it makes sense. And if
Yeah,
you had,
the floral, that was like a planned, what would be considered a planned development.
right,
So they
that's what I'm
wanted a
saying. I meant-
similar look.
I meant I said subdivision, so I meant if you had that kind of, I bet you sing all day here with this, and then just different materials, but.
I totally agree.
But when you're melding it into an existing neighborhood,
Yeah.
You've got a really cool porch on the back of these. That
Oh, I
it's
like
kind
that.
of a steel porch. You might want to consider maybe there's something that goes over the garage doors that's using the same steel. Could really enhance the contemporary
Okay.
look of this, and also kind of, especially the beige one here, would
Yeah.
kind of help the garage recede a little bit.
Okay.
sir, you're a neighbor, did you have any other comments, or you just were listening in today?
Well, I just, I'm new to this, sorry, the appearance, I understand you want the appearance and everything. I was just curious, so there's no problem with 2 houses being for that lot, those 3 lots?
Ba-
No, that's. go
Based
ahead.
on what we've reviewed, there can be 2 homes on the lot. These will not be, what's been preliminary submitted, they meet the zoning requirements for height, building coverage, impermeable
And
coverage.
spread out, stuff like that.
Thank you, that's all I was concerned about.
Okay. So you guys will retune this address.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure.
And sir, so you know, you're gonna see 2 modern houses there, okay? It's just gonna be, you will, but it's gonna look a little different than this, so,
Sure, I live in 8113, so.
okay,
I lived in it, so.
okay.
Oh, okay.
All right, so I guess that's it for this evening. I hope you guys are okay. Okay. You're like, yeah, whatever.
Thank you.
But, and really, thank you guys for coming, because it means a lot to us that you come and participate in this stuff, so we appreciate it. All right, thank you. So with that said, we are going to, any old business, we covered all that. Any comment? No, okay. So adjourned at 8.
I move that we adjourn.
All right, well done, at 8:12.
Pretty good.
April meeting is the 26th.
You hit your green button and it's off.
No, 26th of May.
Oh, really?
Because it passed. Was there any discussion,
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.